Thank you.
Thank you all. Okay, and I will call to order the special meeting of the Glendale City Council for January 11th, 2022. Happy New Year, everyone, at 3:43. And to help slow the transmission of COVID-19 and protect the health and safety of our community, the City Council, as well as Board and Commission meetings, will continue to be closed to the public for in-person attendance. The public is encouraged to watch and participate from the safety of your home. You can watch the broadcast live on Glendale TV, viewable on Spectrum Cable Channel 6 and AT&T UVerse Channel 99. Meetings are also streamed live in high definition on the city's webpage, glendale.gov/live, glendaleca.gov/live, on youtube.com/MyGlendale, and on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire devices using a free app called ScreenWeave and choosing Glendale TV from the menu. If you have public comments and questions during the meeting, please call 818-937-8100. Public comments on a special agenda item will be taken when that agenda item is discussed. And with that, may we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Agajanian.
Present.
Brotman.
Here.
Kasakian.
Here.
Najarian.
Here.
And Mayor Devine.
Here. Any report, please?
The agenda for the Tuesday, January 11, 2022 special public meeting of the City Council is posted on January 4th, 2022 on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
Thank you. And what's next, please?
One would be community development regarding Greater Downtown Glendale Association's calendar year 2021 annual report and calendar year 2022 budget for the Greater Downtown Glendale Community Benefit District. A motion to accept Greater Downtown Glendale Association's calendar year 2021 annual report and calendar year 2022 budget for the Greater Downtown Glendale Community Benefit District.
Thank you. Mr. Tuktalian or Mr. Galanian? I'm not sure who's taking it.
For the moment, it is Mr. Tuktalian. And with that, Mayor Devine, members of the City Council, we have a report here where we'll be taking two things into consideration. The first is our 2021 annual report for the Downtown Glendale Association, as well as the calendar year 22 budget. And we have both Phil Lanzafame and Tom Arsad here who can make a presentation on that.
Thank you.
Tamar?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Tuktalian. Mayor Devine, members of council, before you today, as Mr. Tuktalian mentioned, is an annual report. This is required, council's approval is required for the annual report and the proposed budget per the California Streets and Highway Code. This is something we bring before you every year as the Greater Downtown Glendale Association, as the nonprofit managing the Greater Downtown Community Benefit District. They present their annual report, and as Exhibit 1 demonstrates, the district continues to grow and thrive despite continued effects of COVID-19. Included in their annual report is a list of new businesses that have opened in the last year, and also a representation that the vacancy rates in the retail remain low. The Greater Downtown Glendale Association continues to be a strong partner for the city, and their support was paramount during COVID-19 recovery efforts. They helped with sanitizer distribution, with the alfresco parklet setup, and as we continue that discussion of what the parklets will look like in the future, they are assisting with locations, business participation, and design. Throughout this last year, the Downtown Glendale Association also focused efforts on marketing the district, beautification through sidewalk operations, seasonal decorations, and event sponsorship. And while events were mostly canceled this past year, as we look at their budget for the upcoming year, we see that special event sponsorships are returning. The DGA presented a balanced budget for this coming year of $1.96 million. And this budget is in line with the types of services that both the city as a property owner and the other property owners within the district would expect and want, including investments in staffing with ambassadors, placemaking, banners, and marketing. This concludes my presentation, but on the line is also the board president of the Greater Downtown Glendale Association, Mr. Rick Lemo.
I have a question, Madam Mayor.
Go ahead, Councilmember Agajanian, before we let Mr. Lemo speak.
Yeah, thank you. This is Councilmember Agajanian. My question is, there was a property owner which he didn't want to be part of this Glendale, Downtown Glendale Association. Is that property out of this loop now?
Councilman, yes. Councilman Agajani, yes.
So what we are showing on, what I have is this on annual report. So that is carved out. So it's not what we are showing, they are not here anymore. Am I right?
That is correct. You
Okay.
took that action,
Draft.
council took that action sometime last year.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we'll hear from Rick Lemo. Happy New Year, Rick.
Happy New Year, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor Devine, council members and staff, especially staff. I'm going to repeat this more than once, I'm sure, in my report, but with all of the great things I believe our district has done, our working with staff members has certainly made the function of our district much better in light of the darkness that was cast upon us with the continued challenges of COVID. I'll just give you some highlights in order to stay brief and allow you time for questions. First and foremost, during COVID, we addressed the immediate needs. And I want to make sure that I'm very clear. While we are a property owner's district and fees are paid by the property owner, which of course we're anticipating are passed along, we made a decision to help our existing merchants in the district, because the more help we gave them, we thought they'd have a better relationship with their landlords and property owners. So during COVID, we handed out to our local businesses tons of free hand sanitizer, as well as 8,783 masks. These were mainly provided to be for employees in the district, as well as customers as they saw fit within the district, to ensure that the virus didn't spread any worse than it might have on its own. Our maintenance crew stayed on, and this is an amazing feat based upon the other districts I've spoken with, and frankly, the other businesses I've spoken with. Our maintenance crew stayed on full-time daily to ensure that the trash receptacles, traffic control, crosswalk buttons, and touchable surfaces were sanitized regularly. This happened throughout the day to ensure reduction, not only in germs, but to keep vigilant regarding any potential hazards that could further spread the virus. Again, a small action, but it was as much as we could do, and very good judgment on the maintenance team. We also worked very closely with city staff to map out potential seating areas in the adjacent parking spaces and keep those areas clean, even though they went outside the purview of what was originally planned by the district. And with Phil Lanzafame and his team developing al fresco dining, it was really something that invited people to know, here's a place you can be safe in Glendale. We also worked with city staff to provide instructions to cooperate with city staff on the placement of seating and arrangements in these new spaces, so that we were cognizant of ADA requirements and keeping things safe. We stepped up our sidewalk pressure washing services to ensure the district remained clean and sanitary, and we were able to do that by just moving around some budget dollars to do that when we were not able to do certain special events. We did what we could to ensure that businesses stayed open and were able to continue to operate with all of the restrictions ordered by the state to slow the spread of the virus. And as you can imagine, very often that became very confusing, because the state and the county were constantly adjusting what their requirements were. We did our best, and this is a lofty goal. We did our best to keep a sense of normalcy by continuing our annual spring, fall, and holiday displays throughout the district. And in fact, we, with the help of local Glendale resident celebrity Mario Lopez, were able to develop a welcome back to Glendale promotion, which was advertised but adjusted and delayed based upon the new rules. And Mr. Lopez and his family have agreed that when we are open, we will rework that promotion so that winners could spend their greater downtown Glendale district dollars within the district through special arrangements we've made. Most importantly, our district businesses continue to grow and expand, including the opening of 41 new businesses to the community. This is a very important number. It's important to our district, should be important to everyone in our city, that while other cities are leaning more towards looking like ghost towns, Glendale's impetus has continued to grow. All of this was possible due to working extremely closely in the relationships that we have with the city economic development and the public works staff. I have no problem in sharing with you probably the way you feel as well. We hope that we never have to experience what we had to do over the past 2 years, but we look very forward to a robust coming out of the pandemic. We believe that our greater downtown Glendale area will continue to grow and become the focal point of innovation, commerce, and public space. And I have some facts I would just like to give you very, very quickly. First of all, to let you know, even during the pandemic, 18,682 garbage bags. These are 42-gallon garbage bags, totaling approximately 345,617 pounds, were picked up by our greater downtown Glendale maintenance team. Keeping in mind, this doesn't include the trash bags that came out of trash cans. It was literally cleaning up our streets. We made 169 reports, which included broken city property, extensive graffiti, and illegal dumping to help the city be able to address those needs quicker. We did 511 cleanups of our own, including, and this is something that I hope we can talk about briefly later, bio-waste and incidents of human waste. We can go into detail a little bit later. 424 homeless outreach calls relating to businesses and homeless disturbances, and we've been working with our Glendale PD to address that in a very compassionate yet stern way. Our ambassadors gave 1,271 directions or recommendations on where to shop or dine in the district. We had 749 graffiti tags cleaned. We removed 1,874 stickers or posters from property where they did not belong. We have 488 full city blocks and sides that were pressure washed, 3,952 bus stops that were completely clean. And this is something that will save our businesses money. 505 shopping carts returned to the businesses within the district or completely removed. And that's just a quick overview of the Herculean task that our team in partnership with city staff have been able to accomplish. And with that, I remain available for questions and I would love to discuss with you things that may be a challenge to our district. Realize we have been in business now 9 years, and they have been 9 very successful years. But one growing issue is the homelessness and our response to that. And so we'd love to get your suggestions on how that can be helped. And we can go into detail, but I remain open for questions.
Mr. Limo, how many ambassadors do you have?
Full-time ambassadors. But Marco, our executive director, I saw his name on the screen before. Marco Lamandri, are you there?
Yes, I am. I think it fluctuates up and down, but usually Monday through Friday, we have at least 6 to 8 ambassadors on the sidewalks. Some are doing pressure washing, the rest are doing sidewalk sweeping.
And,
Wow.
and those are full-time ambassadors, and then we also have part-time ambassadors. Also, remember, we adjust our power washing to be in the off hours so as to not affect business or foot traffic.
Okay. Okay, I'll open it up to my fellow colleagues. Questions? Councilmember Brotman, go ahead.
Oh, you can let Councilmember Kasakian go first. He beat me to the hand raising.
Oh, I didn't see that. So, okay, Councilmember Kasakian, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Councilmember Brotman. I want to thank the Downtown Glendale Association for the presentation and ask what are some of the trends that they're seeing in the way customers and people frequenting the downtown are behaving. What are some of the things that they feel will continue on past this pandemic? And what are areas that we should be keeping an eye out for as a city council as we make policy decisions impacting the area?
I could, before answering that, I want to let you know that I just got an updated figure, and we do now have 12 full-time ambassadors. To specifically answer your question, Councilmember Kasakian, I will tell you that the number one trend, which it's a shocking trend because coming from Cleveland, Ohio, where today I believe the high was 13 degrees, I'm shocked that this trend didn't exist for the last 35 years. People want to eat outdoors. I don't believe it is a fear of getting COVID. It's a matter of convenience. They feel more comfortable being able to take their masks off, talk. And so the number one trend we're seeing in the district is that foot traffic is returning and that eating is outdoors. They love to be back out on the streets. And then the other trend, which is much harder to put our arms around, they really voice to everybody, our ambassadors, the restaurant personnel, the retail personnel, they just want to get back to some sense of normal. We are not seeing a lot of challenges to the mask rules or things like that. People just want to move on with their lives. And our goal in the district is to be able to make that comfort available first and foremost by eating outdoors. And then to facilitate their ability to park and to walk and to patronize the retail as well. So that's the number one trend far and away is eating outdoors. And the more outdoor space we can provide by addressing our rules in the future and all, I think that will be very successful for Glendale, sir.
And I think that that's important for us to also be flexible with how we envision restaurants utilizing space, whether it's on rooftop patios or even on public sidewalks, and trying to make it easier for everyone to have this more European style or al fresco type experience. In addition to the question, I do want to add my own comment is I really appreciated within your report the statistics, the numbers of people assisted, the number of contacts with individuals who are homeless, et cetera. What I would appreciate is in the coming year when we revisit these reports to have a comparison as to the prior year's statistics. So we have some sort of measurable metrics to see where areas where we've had increases, where things have dropped off. It could be an indicator of a job well done. It could be an indicator of areas where we need to invest more resources. So I do like looking at those numbers. I would like to see those numbers, though, in a pattern over the years. Thank you very much, Mayor, and thank you to the presentation.
Thank you. We'll make certain that that comparison exists in the report. Right now, the closest we come to that, and there's a little bit of wishful thinking in here, is that we're assuming things are improving on an upward projectile because so many businesses are opening in Glendale, but that is only an assumption. I think your comparison year to year, which we do in a lot of other businesses, are something that we will absolutely provide for next year's report.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Brotman?
Thank you. Thanks. First of all, thanks, Rick, and everyone who's part of the Greater Downtown Glendale Association. You've really done yeoman's work getting us through these last couple of years. No one expected it would be this bad. But you've kept your head up, and the area's always looked its best, and as lively as we could have had it, at any. There were times when we just had no control over that, but yeah, it's been nice every time I've gone down. I wanted to ask, I did have a question kind of along the lines of what Councilmember Kasakian was asking on the statistics. So I looked in the president's report and it mentions 20 new businesses. But you just mentioned 41. If you could just clarify that, but the bigger question was, how many did we lose? How many did we gain? Have we had a net gain? And very much a related question is vacancy rates. The staff report says vacancy rates are low. I was interested in what does that mean? How does that compare to the last couple of years? If you could just give us a sense of how the dynamics are playing out in terms of business openings, business closings, vacancies.
I'm going to do the best that I can because I don't have all those statistics with me, but I'm reasonably certain we can get them for you within a week to 10 days. First of all, in regards to vacancy rates, the only place we will be somewhat deficient on vacancy rates is that for office buildings. And we can find that out through one of our members who's been out of town. But so that's what I'm going to set aside. In regards to the businesses, I believe that 42 hang on a second, what's that number of new businesses?
You said 41 earlier.
41 new businesses. I would anticipate, because of the convergence of the two reports, that 22 of them would have been the net gain or new businesses to the area. I would have to defer to our marketing staff who's not at this meeting, but we can get those numbers to you. And Marco, if you could just make note that we want that provided through Tamar and Phil to pass along to staff. I'm sure we can get absolute specifics within 7 days.
Okay, that's great. But basically what you're saying is we've had a net gain from the start of COVID, which is an incredible outcome that I don't think any of us would have predicted. I wouldn't have predicted that we'd come out of COVID with a net gain in our business numbers.
Yeah, I think when we look at what we see in Glendale, one of the things that contributed to us being able to have a net gain is the success of the outdoor dining at restaurants. And while my role here today is that of the president of the Greater Downtown Glendale Association, I think we should also remember that not only did the Americana maintain their numbers, as did the Glendale Galleria, but they did so by adding or replacing tenants with a higher level of tenants. So those two big areas not losing any tenants or not having any great net in loss of tenants, combined with the fact that we have outdoor dining up and down Brandon throughout the district, makes foot traffic be the number one thing that people are doing. Also, got to be honest, I think a lot of landlords were much more competitive on their rents to invite people to come here, and we'll see how that moves over the next few years. But I will get you exact numbers because I think those are good numbers for us to have. Okay.
And if I could continue, another question I had is, well, I mean, because you talk about outdoor dining, we all love that. I love it. And it just also just gives a great spirit to the area. It's not just for the diners, but it's everybody just walking around. So what are we giving you? Is the city giving you all the support you need to get the alfresco program, I guess version 2 up and running? And is there anything else that you need from us that would help make that even that kind of permanent solution we're talking about, make that even more successful?
Yes, I want to preface my answer by saying I mean this to sound much more respectful than it's going to sound. The city has been doing a spectacular job. So what can we do to make it better? If the decisions they need made by council can be made quicker in more of an emergency fashion, that would be helpful. I think the city staff has done an exemplary job on doing their homework, both for us and for Montrose, in regards to the alfresco setups, the permanent setups that they've come up with. So number one, if we could move that through the system faster, that would be better. Also, in the short to medium term, if the city could look at the big picture, instead of charging the regular parking rate to a business when we replace that parking with outdoor dining, maybe we give them a year to get back on their feet, and then we charge them 50% of the parking rate in year 2. And in year 3, because they've been able to plan for it, they'll hit and they'll pay 100% of what those parking spaces would have garnered the city. And those are the only 2 things that I can think of. Other than that, I mean, we're very, very pleased with the partnership with the city.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Madam Mayor?
Thank you. Councilmember Najarian.
Thank you, Mr. Lemo, Mr. Lemandry. I'm always very proud when I walk down Brand Boulevard and see it absolutely spotless. I would put Brand Boulevard up against any other city's main street, whether it's Rodeo Drive or, Colorado or Lake in Pasadena. It's really, I think, a testament to your ambassadors that, I mean, they're not doing, it's a tough job to be out there sweeping up after us. And of course, the interaction with the public is always very helpful. But I am very pleased because we've got the cleanest downtown, I think, than any other city that I'm aware of, that I've seen at least. I want to know if, what is your greatest challenge at this point? Well, I mean, what is it that we're good so far, but what do you see out there that needs some addition besides the city council involvement and the fast turnaround that you just mentioned?
I will answer your question just one second. I didn't want to go too far into this presentation without doing something that's really necessary. Marco Lemandry and I get to enjoy telling you all the good stuff about our district, but I want to tell you that with Nick and with Ryan and their staff, they do all the work. As it turns out, Marco and I are just the pretty faces. Weigh that as you must. But our team is unbelievable. They do all the hard work, even passing out umbrellas on rainy days. I mean, it's really amazing. Now, that being said, let me tell you that our biggest challenge is a challenge that I think you face as well. And it's not right for me just to say the homeless people, because that's not it. But it's the law and our current prosecutor that makes our police feel powerless in regards to dealing even compassionately with homeless issues. We have and will continue to give money to Essentia to help have a place to go. But as I mentioned earlier in my report, our ambassadors are at great risk. We've had ambassadors attacked by homeless people. And unfortunately, if during their 911 call, they can't give the exact address and they can't give the exact material of the signs they're being hit with, the police don't feel comfortable in coming. When the police get there, there's not much they can do. And if there is anything they can do, the people are back on the street before the reports are written. So whatever you can do, whether it be having more power to our city attorneys, have it be a stricter code of rules that we're going to follow here, whatever you can do to help us alleviate the homeless problem and also put our team at less risk. I will tell you that even though you are all very experienced individuals, you would be shocked to see what our ambassadors deal with on a daily basis. Now, in all fairness, it's not like LA by any means, okay? But our ambassadors deal with it quickly, because I can tell you, I don't recall one homeless issue that has had a negative impact on any of our businesses that wasn't handled immediately by the cleanup provided by our ambassadors. But that being said, the number one issue we can use better help on is homeless, to give our police a little bit more flexibility on what they can do, and to develop perhaps maybe letting our own city attorney judge, become the judge on these issues and allow us to have some prosecution. Remember, we're not going to eliminate homelessness, and we're not here to critique homelessness. Our goal is to make it less comfortable for homeless here so that they'll go to some other city, because I have to put Glendale first. That's the best way I can explain it.
Oh, okay. The last thing I'd like to add is you used to have a contribution to Glendale Arts, and I understand that has stopped. I would like you to get back with staff and find another way to reprogram that, whether it's for capital improvements to the Alex Theater itself, not to the operating agency, but the capital improvements, or to some programming on Artsock Street, or this is not a comprehensive list, but I'd like you to continue to help out the arts in the downtown area, even though your favorite agency is not running the Alex anymore.
Completely understand that, and I think the only thing I know for certain is obviously we need to have a nonprofit as a vehicle, to contribute to. But Marco, if I may, if you would work with Phil and Tamar and Bradley and anyone from the city, and our goal would be to get that list with the pros and cons, and deal with it at our next board meeting. And I'd also like to invite any of you to attend our board meeting. We're going to be Zoom as well for a little while yet. And we just can't have more than 2 of you at one time, because our budget isn't big enough for coffee and donuts, but we can get, Porto to donate some. No, we'd love to have you join us. And we will address it. Councilmember Najarian will address those issues when we get the list of options from the city.
Thank you, gentlemen.
We're big proponents of Artsock Plaza. We think that's a very positive area of our district.
Very good. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm. Councilmember Abajanian, do you have any comments or questions?
Very brief question. I just want to know if during this period, starting March 15 until now, March 15 of 2020 until now, did the property owners had to reduce the rent on the stores or whatever they were renting it out, if they are aware of any reduced rent or help that they provided to the tenants?
We have not been privy to any of that information, and I don't know that they would ever share that with us. What I have heard is that there were at least 2 or 3 tenants I was told about by property owners that were not paying forward the rent subsidy that they were provided from either state or federal. But we really don't get into that type of conversation with our property owners unless they volunteer.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you all. I thank my colleagues for all their comprehensive questions. I think they've answered or asked you what you need from us, how we can help you moving forward. I thank you for your positivity in looking forward to the coming year and what can be happening in our downtown. I also want to thank you and your board and all those ambassadors. I can't believe you only have 6 or 8 a day, and to do all of this work is pretty incredible. But for all the work you did to keep everyone safe when going to resident restaurants and businesses. I also am appreciative of your positive response to Councilmember Najarian's request that we that you continue to support arts in Glendale. You know, we have so many projects, and we have our Arts and Culture Commission that's always doing different projects around the city. So I hope that that will continue, and I do appreciate that. I also hope that the support from our city, our council, the grants that we gave to the businesses to help them out, I think that was a big help. But most of all, I appreciate your hard work and the work of your board and the downtown, the greater downtown business district. Thank you so much, Rick, for doing all of that. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor. I also just want to just say one more thing, if I could. I hope you all join me in congratulating Joe Stinnett, who was a long-standing member of our board. He made some kind of crazy decision to enjoy his life and travel with his spouse and sort of semi-retire. And we're very grateful for his contribution over the years as well. So thank you. And officially now in the record, we're all thanking Joe.
Yeah, and please wish him the best from all of us too, especially for me. Happy trails.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so you're welcome. So let's see, we need a motion to accept the Greater Downtown Glendale Association's annual report and calendar.
I'll make that motion, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Is there a second? Okay, that came from Councilmember Kasakian and Councilmember Brotman. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Agajanian. Councilmember Agajanian.
You on mute?
Councilmember Brotman.
Yes.
Councilmember Kasakian.
Yes.
Councilmember Najarian.
Yes.
And Mayor Devine.
Yes. Thank you all. Next item, please.
Next item would be number 2, community development regarding Montrose Shopping Park Business Improvement District Annual Work Plan Budget for calendar year 2022. A motion to accept Montrose Shopping Park Association 2022 budget.
Thank you. Mr. Tektalian.
Thank you, Mayor Devine. This, similar to the last report, is with respect to the Montrose Shopping Park Association's annual work plan and budget for 2022. Staff is prepared to answer any specific questions you might have regarding this particular item.
Thank you. Any questions from staff? I'm sorry, my colleagues, any questions? Then do we have a motion to accept the budget for the Montrose?
I move the item.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor.
And roll call.
Madam Mayor.
Yes, is there someone that would like to speak?
Question.
Oh, I see Dale Dawson.
Yeah,
Hi, Dale. Would you like to say a few words before we vote on this? I guess we're just all happy with what you're doing up there.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. And you guys always make it so easy. It's the involvement, the intimate involvement that we have with all of your city staff and city council that makes it work up here. And we thank you so much. So if you're happy, we're happy.
Okay, we're looking forward to getting back to some of the usual events up there. That's for sure. And Happy New Year. Councilmember Brotman has something he would like to say or ask.
I thought we might get a report, but it's okay. I'll just ask my question. I wanted to ask a similar question to the one that I asked Rick Lemma, which is about business closures and business openings and how things have shaken out so far from before COVID to now.
Well, it's been, as with everybody, I'm sure, win a few, lose a few. We have lost a couple, but they get filled rather quickly. Of our 190 potential members, we only have about 6 that are down for the moment. 3 of those are coming back. So other than a few construction issues with restaurant type businesses that make it a little more time consuming, we stay filled, and we haven't experienced a great shakeup. It's been fairly consistent.
Okay, that's great news, because I know, I mean, I wasn't here then, but I know after the 2008 financial crisis, there was a long period of very kind of depressed situation there, right? So we did not see that kind of that kind of an impact, obviously. And that's good to hear.
No, we did not.
Yeah, and I also want to say some of the same things that I said about downtown. I mean, the area along Honolulu has always been, kept well kept, well maintained, attractive, and to the extent possible, as lively as it could have been under the circumstances. Always just a pleasant place to go. It's not far from where I live, and I do go up there a lot. I know Councilmember Kasakian is up there often doing coffees, and I'm sure the rest of us go up there a lot too. It's a wonderful part of the city.
Well, thank you. And the liveliness of it is going to go nothing but upward from here. We went through 2020 with absolutely no events, and we're very event driven in terms of foot traffic and getting people to come to our shopping park here. And so last year we were not able to do anything in the first half of the year. We did manage to move a car show from July 4th weekend to Labor Day weekend. That was our first event in quite some time. And then after moving it 4 times, we finally pulled off the Arts and Crafts Festival. And it was so well received. People were so hungry for this. The response of the public generated the response of the vendors. I had vendors say to me, and I've been doing this for a while, they said, that was my best show ever. So we're going to continue to drive traffic into the shopping park. And if we could get some parking meters that don't require coins, we'd be thrilled.
Okay, and I want to add that Arts and Crafts Festival was the best you've ever had. That was amazing, very good. The attendance was over the top. Any other comments from my fellow Councilmember Najarian?
Just a quick one. Thank you, Dale. You always do a great job up there. When is Gus and Dave's Bar and Grill opening? Or not Gus, something like that.
It's been like any minute for the last 6 months. So I don't know at this point. It could simply be because I know they've gotten past most or all of their permit issues and their reconstruction issues. It was a building that hadn't been touched for probably 30 years and needed a lot of change, but I think they're ready to go. The problem could be right now in terms of getting started is finding the help. I know our restaurants are still short on line cooks, they're short on busboys, they're short on just about every aspect of personnel. So that could be the only flaw in the ointment right now, but should be good to go momentarily. We'll make a big announcement when it does.
Be sure to invite all of us up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks so good from the street. Yeah.
I think it's Gus and Andy's, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Gus and Andy's, yeah.
I appreciate everything that you guys are doing. I want to, again, echo everything my colleagues have said. One thing that I do want to ask is that if you do feel the need that the Shopping Park Association needs more support, please let us know. I know that there was a line item in the report about picking up or cleaning up the waste baskets, the trash cans. And I know right there on the intersection, way before COVID, there was always a lot of garbage that accumulates in those trash cans. Sometimes it piles over. And if we need to do something to make sure that gets picked up more frequently and have our city resources be a part of it, please let us know, because that is a marquee intersection, not just for the north part of the city, but for all of the city, for people coming off the 210 to 2. And we'd like it to remain clean, as I'm sure the merchants would as well. So if you need additional help, please let us know.
We certainly will. We do have an independent contractor who handles that and cleans all of our city lids and trash cans. Also takes care of Lot 7, which tends to accumulate the most problems with trash and dumping. And we worked very closely with Yazdan Rami and his crew to make the transition to Athens, and everything seems to be coming together rather well.
Great. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dawson. And good luck in the coming year.
You too.
Do I have a motion then for item number 2?
I'll move
Yes.
the item.
I moved the item I said before.
Thank you. Second?
I'll defer the second to Councilmember Brotman if you would.
Okay, second.
Okay, Councilmember Brotman. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Agajanian,
Yes.
Brotman,
Yes.
Kasakian,
Yes.
Najarian,
Yes.
and Mayor Devine.
Yes. Thank you. What's the next item?
Adjournment?
I have a
Move to
motion.
adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. We are adjourned at 4:28. Thank you all for that. And we'll move on to the city council meeting for January 11th, 2022. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Agajanian,
Present.
Brotman,
Here.
Kasakian,
Here.
Najarian,
Here.
and Mayor Devine.
Here. What's next, please?
One would be closed session, 1A public employee appointment, Director of Finance and Information Technology.
Thank you. Mr. Garcia, do you expect to report out on this item?
Madam Mayor, we do anticipate reporting out on this item.
All right, thank you very much. Then we recess to closed session. Thank you. See you later.